So, I'm sorry. I hate to be the bearer of bad news here, but it's true. It's not looking good. I'll tell you that much. I know we were all expecting a nice Last of Us Part 3, but sometimes we don't get another game after a masterpiece. Because I remember people loved The Last of Us Part 2. I remember people finishing and they were like, "Oh, this game was amazing." Oh, it was amazing. So good. So good of a game. Such excellent story. And Abby, so good. No, but Last of Us Part 3 might not happen, according to Neil Cuckman. Naughty Dog seemingly shifting focus to Intergalactic, the Heretic Prophet, which I haven't heard anything else about since it came the announcement. Um, so you know, I guess that's a good thing. I guess that's a good thing. For years, speculation has swirled around whether The Last of Us Part 3 would ever become a reality, kind of like Half-Life 3 or Portal 3 or, anything from Valve that only goes up to 2. Because apparently Valve is afraid of the number 3. Um, Fans hoping for an official confirmation have been met with silence from Naughty Dog until now. In a recent interview with Variety, Neil Cuckman, the creator-director behind the franchise, made a statement that all but confirms that there are no current plans for a third installment. Oh no, I'm sure the whole, all 12 people are just upset. While this doesn't necessarily mean The Last of Us is done for good, it raises serious questions about the series' long-term viability. His words were simple. Don't bet on there being more of Last of Us. The vague yet firm response suggests that there not only is part 3 not in development, but it may never happen at all, which, I mean, didn't you just say to not count it out? Once the intergalactic game comes out, they might focus on The Last of Us again. So um but it may never happen at all. That's an odd reality for a franchise that Sony and Naughty Dog have long positioned as a flagship property. If The Last of Us were the industry juggernaut it claimed to be, there would be no hesitation about continuing the series. Instead, we have ambiguity, silence, and now what seems like an outright dismissal of the idea. Um, Franchise mired in controversy. While The Last of Us was once widely celebrated, its legacy has grown more divisive over in recent years. You know, The Last of Us Remastered, The Last of Us Remastered Ultimate Edition, The Last of Us Remastered Ultimate Edition Part 2 Electric Boogaloo. I mean, they've remastered how many times? It really hasn't been that much, but you get the point. Uh, The Last of Us Remastered Ultimate Edition 2, this time it's personal. Or it's really The Last of Us. The Last of Us Part 2 alienated a significant portion of its audience due to the creative decisions that left many feeling betrayed. Like Joel, his fate. You know, stuff like that. Abby being such a terrible character. Stuff like that. Removal of a beloved character early in the game sparked outrage, while forced shift into perspective to a new hated protagonist was seen as an attempt to strong arm players into sympathizing with an unlikable character. So it is in many games these days. I mean, you can think of just the last year a game that's come out where this had an unlikable character that they've tried to force you to force you to like. Tosh. The The game also received criticism for prioritizing thematic messaging over organic storytelling, leading to the accusation that its narrative was far more concerned with making a statement and crafting a compelling experience. The HBO adaptation, despite a few strong performances, has not been free of criticism as well. And one of the reasons is what's her face is just she's not Ellie. I seriously doubt of the people who auditioned that Bella Ramsey or whatever. I seriously doubt she was the best. I refuse to believe that she was the best. While some praise its fidelity to the original game, others took issue with the changes made to certain story elements. Within the second season of the show, set to premiere soon, anticipation is high, but so is skepticism, and so are the directors. And so must you be if you want to enjoy it. If the upcoming season follows the controversial plot of Part 2, and Druckmann has said that it is, it could further cement the series as a divisive property rather than a universally celebrated one. The intergalactic distraction. Riza? Druckmann's dismissal of The Last of Us Part 3 coincides with Naughty Dog's focus on its new project, Intergalactic, the Heretic Prophet. Announced at the 2024 Game Awards, the title has reportedly been in development since 2020. It seems to be taking center stage at the studio, potentially explaining why The Last of Us is being left behind and why it's the last of them. However, there is already skepticism surrounding Intergalactic. Given Druckmann's creative direction in recent years, many suspect if it will follow the same narrative approach that made The Last of Us Part 2 so divisive. If Intergalactic doubles down on the same storytelling style that alienated fans, it could struggle to find an audience. Well, let me ask you this. Have gaming companies in current day learned from their mistakes? There you go. Additionally, Naughty Dog has traditionally been known for its mastery of gameplay, yet its recent output has placed increasing emphasis on cinematic storytelling at the expense of player agency. Because why play a game when you can just watch it? You know, because that's what games are all about, watching them. If only there was some kind of other medium to take part in that you could watch. I don't know, like a moving picture or something. I don't know. I'm talking crazy talk here. If Intergalactic is the best, make another Mark. Oh, hi, Mark. Another step away from what once made Naughty Dog a beloved developer. Crash Bandicoot from Naughty Dog. Real question: why there no Last of Us Part 3? At the heart of the discussion is the undeniable truth. If The Last of Us were the powerhouse franchise that Sony and Naughty Dog claim it to be, there would be no ambiguity about its future. Compare it to God of War, Spider-Man, or Horizon, Sony's other major properties that have received sequels without hesitation. You know, and then same thing like Horizon. It's like, oh, here's Horizon. Now here's Horizon Remastered. Here's Horizon Remastered Ultimate Edition. You know, it's like the game's not old. Why does it need a remaster? Sony's other properties that have received sequels without hesitation, yet here we are with Druckmann all but dismissing the possibility of another Last of Us entry. And if the series were still the money-making juggernaut it once was, Part 3 would be a certainty. Instead, it appears that The Last of Us has become more of a risky investment than a guaranteed success. Whether that's due to the backlash from Part 2, shifting priorities at Naughty Dog, or simply a lack of viable story ideas. Well, hang on. The outcome is still the same. The franchise's future is anything but assured. As Naughty Dog moves forward with Intergalactic, the fate of The Last of Us remains in limbo, whether it returns down the road or quietly fades away. Cuckman's recent comments indicate that, for now, the studio is content to leave it behind. It really is The Last of Us. The lack of viable story ideas. Isn't that something you should kind of have in mind going forward when you start an IP like that? About the story you want to tell, knowing that you're not going to have the ability to tell all of it in one game. You know, it's like a book or, movies. A lot of the times, you see it with other companies. You see with Blizzard, with the WoW expansions, how, it's like right now we're in the War Within, but they already have like the next 2, 3 expansions already planned out. They're already working on them. So why isn't Naughty Dog doing the same thing? Clearly, they know which direction they want to take the story. So there would be no reason to say, oh, there's no viable story ideas. They're clearly telling a story, and they should clearly know where it wants to go. Cuckman didn't learn a thing. The Last of Us 2 failed because he's a simp for Anita Sarkeesian and listened to her horrible ideas. I thought he might have... Oh yeah, this is Mad Limming. I thought he might have gotten the hint by being repeatedly humiliated at the Game Awards. I was dead wrong. Dead fucking wrong. Because now he's going to repeat the same with a game whose heroine is deliberately hideous with a VA that's already made her loving and tolerant views well known. Naughty Dog doesn't have a future at this rate. Bunny with a keyboard. Always good to see Bunny. I'm told part 2 didn't happen as well. I heard that same rumor. I heard part 2 didn't actually happen. Damn, I wanted part 3 to happen so it can bomb. And cause cause Naughty Dog to go under. Either way, Intergalactic, the feminist prophet, will bomb and lose them money. Sadly, when that trash bombs, they will say everyone is a insert buzzword here and ignore why it sucked. Yeah, the game will come out. It'll be terrible. The story will be terrible, or whatever the case is. And then they'll get valid criticism about it. And anyone who has a valid criticism will be called a phobe, is an ism, far-right extremist, Nazi, Donald Trump supporter, blah, blah, blah. It's lather, rinse, repeat constantly, because these people aren't intelligent enough to understand that, hey, maybe the gamers aren't the problem. Maybe the people making the games are the problem, because they refuse to learn what makes a game good. But hey, that's just a theory. A game theory. Thanks for watching. No, but yeah. I wouldn't be surprised if they went on a hiatus until the Intergalactic finished and wrapped up and all that, and they launched that. Once they get closer to finishing Heretic Prophet, I'm sure they'll be like, oh yeah, we've started working on The Last of Us Part 3. Yeah. But until then, it's probably all hands on deck over at Naughty Dog to get Intergalactic done. But yeah, Last of Us is not the kind of franchise it used to be. It's not. The first one was just highly praised and, just around the world beloved. And then part 2 came out, and it's like, what the fuck are you doing, guys? You had a hit with the first one. How the hell do you screw up this badly? But, and I mean, I talked about some of the drama, like people going after like Laura Bailey, because I think she did the voice of Abby, and people were attacking her and threatening, death threats and all that. It's like, she didn't have anything to do with the game. She just provided the voice. Like, what's wrong with you people? Seriously. But yeah, it's not the franchise it used to be. But anyway, that's gonna do for me. You guys know the drill. I'll see you guys later. Bye, guys.